Hello, everyone. Is that right there? That sounds good. Hello, everyone. Buenos dias, bonjour, and hola. My name is Lyon, and I'm the Executive Director of the Ranch Association International, UAI. You know, we're running late, and I'll try to speed things up a little bit, but even though I don't speak Spanish, I just want to say that love and sincerity do not need any translation. So I understand you very well, and hopefully you understand me too. I remember the Leadership Symposium in Chicago. On Friday night, we had a music session, and there were several people from Colombia, and they came and grabbed me and drugged me over to their table. And we were doing this thing, and we were singing and dancing and all that stuff, and one of the people from Colombia said, "You're never going to invite us to anything ever again." And I was like, "Oh no, you're the first one I'm inviting." I guess this is being broadcast live on the internet, This is being broadcast live on the internet. So I would just like to make mention of a friend of ours that couldn't make it to the symposium, or to the conference here. Moses David in Pakistan. We tried very hard to get him here, and as you can imagine, being a ranch book reader in Pakistan is very difficult. He had a study group there of 30 people, and I emailed here with him several times. And some of his study group, they got in some trouble over there because of the ranch book, and they came to the United States. 2 weeks ago, we had a study group come to my house. So I just wanted to wave to Moses David and his family in Pakistan, and he said, "I know they're watching this at this moment." We're very happy to see all of you. Let's give Moses David a welcome here. Let's do that. So very happy to see all of you here at our 2012 International Conference. Let us thank our Heavenly Father and give credit to our indwelling spirits for leading us to be here this week. We appreciate our unseen friends and the team of already busy people who have made this event possible. We thank the URANTIA Association of Colombia and the members of their 4 local associations of Barranquilla, Bogota, Medellin, and LA Cafetera for the wonderful facility, your warm hospitality, and enlightening and educational programming. Many people have given a lot of time and money and energy to put this event together, and we appreciate everything you've done. May you be rewarded with spiritual satisfaction and wonderful memories of what we accomplished here this week. I want to extend my personal appreciation to Tamila and Andrea for their efforts and leadership that actually began in Malaga, Spain in 2009. They've been very wonderful to work with and very helpful to me. We believe that this revelation is the single most important project on this planet today. And while we do care that our brothers and sisters have enough to eat, good medical care, and proper education, our concern is for their eternal soul. God has given us this opportunity and this responsibility. And as Executive Director, one of my primary responsibilities is fundraising. Fundraising supports what we do at all levels of this organization. The financial support of members and friends of UAI allows us to purchase books and other tools for dissemination of these teachings, provide services to all students of the URANTIA book, and support these same activities within our local and national associations. One of the things we've seen, especially since the Leadership Symposium, is the growth of international support and participation in our missions. The URANTIA book is for all people of all languages, of every culture and faith of this planet. And while this revelation began in Chicago in the United States, this revelation belongs just as much to the people of Colombia, Peru, Argentina, Brazil, and all the world as it does to those of us in the United States and Canada. What we accomplish with this revelation is just as much the responsibility of the people of South America, Europe, Africa, Australia, and Asia as it is for those of us from North America. The URANTIA book is a planetary revelation for all people of this world. We are all one family with one Father. You are my brothers and sisters, no matter where we call home. Facebook, Twitter, internet, email on the internet, and online chats have put all of us within instant communication of each other at prices anyone can afford. I can talk to Carlos in Argentina, Joel in Zambia, Gary in Wales, Marindy in Australia, Anton in Ukraine, all on the same internet phone call for free. I can stand at a podium in Medellin, Colombia, and wave to my grandchildren in the United States who are watching Ethan and Megan. We are developing a new website for UAI that will build on this instant worldwide communication to enhance and grow the URANTIA book reader community around the world and bring all of us even closer together. Great things are happening, and these are indeed exciting times for this revelation and for UAI. During the past year, because of what you're doing, perhaps because of the Leadership Symposium, and in a large part because of the worldwide internet communication, we see a growing interest in the URANTIA book. We see new readers and experienced readers wanting to form new UAI associations in several countries. We see increasing activity in our current local associations. Yes, great things are happening around the world, but especially here in South America. And we are excited to see it, promote it, and be part of it. What you are doing inspires and motivates others to contribute time, money, and energy to our mission and to this revelation. This revelation has changed us as individuals, and as a result, we are changing the world. One of my favorite quotes is from a movie called Gladiator. It says, "What we do in life echoes in eternity." That's a great line. And let me add that what we do within ourselves echoes in our families. And what we do in our families echoes in our communities. And let me assure you that what you do in Colombia echoes around the world. Let me share with you my favorite part of the URANTIA book concerning teaching, the topic of our URANTIA World event here in Colombia. In section 1 of paper 148, Training Evangelists at VIII, Peter, James, and Andrew were the committee designated by Jesus to pass upon the applicants for admission to the school of evangelists. All the races and nationalities of the Roman world and the East, as far as India, were represented among the students in this new school of prophets. This school was conducted on the plan of learning and doing. What the students learned during the forenoon, they taught to the assembly by the seaside during the afternoon. After supper, they informally discussed both the learning of the forenoon and the teaching of the afternoon. Unquote. I've heard it said that we never really know anything until we're able to teach it to others. This method of teaching is very effective and is a good pattern for conducting study groups as well. In a study group, every person should have the opportunity to teach as well as to learn. Study group is a good place where we can learn to teach. In the next paragraph of the URANTIA book, it says, each of the apostolic teachers taught his own view of the gospel of the kingdom. They made no effort to teach just alike. There was no standardized or dogmatic formulation of theologic doctrines. Though they all taught the same truth, each apostle presented his own personal interpretation of the Master's teaching. And Jesus upheld this presentation of the diversity of personal experience in the things of the kingdom, unfailingly harmonizing and coordinating these many and divergent views of the gospel at his weekly question hours. Each of us is at a different point in our journey of spiritual growth and intellectual discovery. So it is only logical that we would have different levels of understanding and changing views of religious concepts and truth. I think this is why we hear that truth is dynamic. While there is but one ultimate truth, my understanding of truth today is better than it was yesterday, but not as good as it will be tomorrow. My evolving understanding of truth will many times be different than your current level of understanding. But that's okay, and we both learn from sharing our understanding in study groups. This is how we learn, and this is how we teach. Events like this one and our leadership symposium are great examples of teaching on a larger scale. However, the most important and most effective form of teaching is on a person-to-person level, sharing our beliefs and experiences one-on-one with another person. This is where the real teaching takes place. This is real dissemination. The individual members of our local associations do the real work of UAI, the real work of this revelation. It is you, as individuals, who serve our Father and our brothers and sisters of this worldwide family of Orange Book readers and bring light and life to this dark and fear-filled planet. It is you that we at UAI seek to serve, to encourage, enable, and empower in your personal mission to teach and lead your children, your family, all the people you meet in your daily life, and most importantly, yourself. By fostering study groups and promoting in-depth study of the URANTIA book, we seek to help you discover how to apply the teachings of the URANTIA book to your daily life situations, and to help you solve the challenges and opportunities that come your way. What good is a revelation if we don't use it to solve problems and find answers? Let us show how much we love our brothers and sisters by sharing this revelation with them, so they can use it to solve their own problems. Let us show how much we love our Father in paradise by sharing how true, beautiful, and good He really is. This is what UAI is all about. This is what teachers and leaders do. From page 312, paragraph 2. One of the most important lessons to be learned during your moral career is teamwork. The spheres of perfection are manned by those who have mastered this art of working with other beings. You are the duties in the universe of a lone servant. Unquote. I think one of the most important things our organizations such as ours, and certainly study groups, teach is teamwork. One individual could not have put this event together. It takes a team to do all the things necessary to accomplish great things. One individual cannot bring this revelation of truth to a dark and confused planet of 7 billion people. Even Jesus had a team that worked to disseminate his message and carry on after he was gone. It's impossible to learn teamwork without a team. Being a member of an organization, an association, a study group, or any other group situation gives us the opportunity to be part of a team. Husband and wife are a team. Parents and children are a team. Our study group family is a team. Being part of a study group provides opportunities for teachers to teach and leaders to lead. And one of the functions of a study group is to produce more study groups. One of the primary functions of a teacher or a leader is to produce more teachers and leaders, who then serve more people until someday that last mortal makes it that irrevocable choice, and the planet is settled in light and life. You are the pioneers of that journey. You are the light of this world. Never underestimate the importance of you and what you do. One of the most enjoyable learning events I've ever experienced was by two of my favorite teachers, Jane and John Pletz, during the Apostles' Cruise several years ago. This was a URANTIA conference, much like this one, but held on a cruise ship that sailed out of Los Angeles, California. Jane and John had us pull names of the apostles out of a hat, and we were to be that apostle for the weekend. I was one of the Alpheus twins, which seems pretty appropriate. Jane then had us cut out paper figures of our apostle and color them with crayons. We then had to research who our apostle was and then go around the room sharing that with everyone. At first I thought this was a pretty childish exercise, using rounded scissors and crayons to learn about the URANTIA. But later I realized that this childlike exercise taught me more about the apostles than I'd ever learned before. On the last night of the cruise, we did a reenactment of the Last Supper, performing our role as the assigned apostle. Several of us were in tears, and nothing has ever taught me more about that event than this simple little demonstration. My point here is that the methods of teaching are limited only by our imagination. Be creative, make it interesting, and don't think that you have to have a master's degree to teach. Jane and John are two of the most effective teachers I know because they know how to teach with simplicity and meaning. Nothing they did cost more than a few dollars or took more than a few minutes to plan, but I still remember it to this day. And every one of us can do everything they did. Simple, easy, but powerful teaching. I was a teacher for the URANTIA Book Internet School for 8 years. This was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, and I would encourage everyone here to take the course and work toward becoming a teacher facilitator for UAIs. I'm eternally grateful to my dear friend Dorothy Elder for that opportunity and that experience. Teaching changed my life more than anything I've ever done. The URANTIA book says the teacher should always be the student. Well, I decided what to teach in my course and how to teach it. I'm the one who learned the most. When I study a topic, I see it from my perspective. But when I teach a subject, I see it from the perspective of all the students in the class. Teaching is like a prism, in that the teacher shines the light on the crystal of truth. And out the other side comes all these different colors that makes up that light. Colors that we would never see until the prism of students separates that light into the different perspectives. I think this is the real value of study groups too. Every topic we discuss in study groups is explored from as many different angles as there are people in the group. The task of a teacher, or the study group host, is to bring out all the different perspectives from the students in the group. That is why in study group everyone should be encouraged to contribute to the discussions. Even that's simple, really. Just ask questions and invite people to respond. Teaching may include such things as sharing your opinion with others at work, or through letters to the editor in the newspaper, or in an internet blog, all without ever mentioning the URANTIA. The one thing that spans all forms of teaching is communication. That pretty much sums up what teaching is all about, I think. Communication, the sharing of ideas and experiences. Perhaps before we can see ourselves as teachers, we must first be students. Students of the URANTIA book, and students of this world and the life we live in. Sometimes we will be teachers, and other times we will be students. And often we are teachers and students at the same time. Our most important student, I think, is ourselves. And the most important subject is the art of self-mastery. Learning to control our thoughts, our actions, our tongues, and then living by these teachings that we love so dearly is probably the greatest and most difficult lesson of this mortal life. How can we teach others unless we first teach ourselves? Isn't it fascinating that even when we're alone, we can be both a student and a teacher? Teaching may be done in many ways, and Jesus used many methods of teaching. He used parables, such as the one that Gaetan passed out to us. He used parables so that some would understand his teachings, because some people learn by hearing. He gave examples of teachings in action, so that other people would understand his teachings. Some people learn by seeing. He used questions to teach still others by leading them to discover the truth for themselves. Some people learn by doing. Teaching takes on many forms and should be adapted to the student's ability to learn. If you're not getting through something, perhaps you need to teach in a different way. Reading the URANTIA book to your children teaches them that you believe this book to be true, beautiful, and good. Changing the way we live or think because of the URANTIA book teaches those around us what is important and valuable to you and me. Gaetan's mother and sister became URANTIA book readers because they saw the change the book made in him. We bring more people to these teachings by living them than we ever will by preaching it or giving it away. One of the goals of the URANTIA Association International is to produce teachers and leaders for this revelation. Until I started preparing this presentation, I saw this as producing teachers and producing leaders. But now, I see this as producing teachers and leaders. Because teachers are leaders, and good leaders are teachers. So teachers and leaders are one entity, and not two separate things. In order to lead, many times we must first teach. So teaching is leading, and leading is teaching. I believe one of the most important things we can do with the URANTIA book is sharing these teachings with our children and our grandchildren. We often talk about getting young people involved in this revelation, but when we look around the room, we see too much gray hair. The youth movement of this revelation begins at home. The real youth movement is the family. What was one of the most important things that Jesus did for his mortal family? What was he constantly doing as the father-brother of his mortal family, or as the creator father of this world? He was constantly learning about living the life of a mortal and teaching us how to live the will of God. Even Jesus was both a student and a teacher. He chose us and traveled to this planet to show us the way. He then invited us into his spiritual kingdom by saying, "Follow me." Let me close with this quote from page 383, paragraph 2. Having started out on the way of life everlasting, having accepted the assignment and received your orders to advance, do not fear the dangers of human forgetfulness and mortal inconstancy. Do not be troubled with doubts of failure or by perplexing confusion. Do not falter and question your status and standing. For in every dark hour, at every crossroad in the forward struggle, the Spirit of truth will always speak, saying, "This is the way. Follow me. This is the way." Now that is teaching. Thank you.